Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, Bow and Arrow Tarot. Today we're going to be doing the love reading for the month of June for the sign of Libra. Going to get right into it with the Romance Angel Oracle deck. We're going to pull 2 cards for you Libras, okay? 2 cards. Give us an idea, an overview of the energies to do with your love life. Any circumstances that may contribute or take away from your love life. Sometimes these readings are not actually about what's going on with you and your partner. Sometimes the readings can be about energies and relationships around you with friends or at work. And a lot of times that will come up during a love reading because in order to progress your love that you may have, or in order to get to a place to welcome in or bring in love, those are the issues that you have to deal with. All right. So basically, any messages coming through are about any issues or circumstances, occurrences, situations, etc. that surround the long-term ability for you to bring in love and keep love in your life. All right. So give us 2 cards. It's going to help us out with our lovely Libras, air sign, sign of the scales. First sign is start thinking about their relationship in the world along with others as opposed to just thinking about themselves. So in Libra we find great social activity, the need to be connected with people and others. All right, so give us 2 cards for Libra love energies, June 2019. Show me. Show me. All right, here we go, Libra. First card is heart-to-heart conversations. This just came out for Virgo as well. Honestly, discuss your feelings with each other. So clearly communication and healing family issues. Your love life benefits as you forgive your parents, right? So perhaps this month it's all about family, extended family, parental issues. Maybe you're a parent or maybe you're dealing with your own parents, right? So we'll see what it all means. At the bottom of the deck we have getting to know each other. So as you move, as you reveal your innermost selves to each other, your bond deepens, right? So bonding, loyalty, growing closer. Oftentimes that is associated with the number 3. 3 is the number of bonding. All right. So let's just get into it. We're going to pull the usual Rider-Waite deck and get your full reading for this month of June to do with your love life, Libra. Interesting. Heart-to-heart conversations, right? So again, this card's come up before with other readings for this month, for this June. And it's just a reminder that communication is important, right? Now's the time to communicate. A lot of us are coming out of a long-term, when I say a length of time or a period of time where there's been a lot of miscommunication. So let's see what's going on. Libra, give me a clear message for those viewing this video. Something that clearly resonates for my lovely Libras. What is June 2019? Help us out, please. Show me. Show me what's going on for our lovely Libras. Sign of the scales for June 2019. Show me. Here we go. So right out the gate we have 7 of discs, 3 of cups. There's the bonding, right? There's the 3 that I was talking about. 7 of wands, another 7. 2 of swords, Queen of cups. Wow. Okay. And the 3 of discs, another 3, more bonding. Ace of wands, Eight of Swords, excuse me, and Two of Cups. Interesting, interesting. So at the bottom of the deck, we have Six of Discs. All right, so the Six of Discs talks about balancing your material, you know, coming to a point in your material world where you know when to give, you're empathetic, you're generous, you know when to give, you know when to set boundaries and limitations as well, when to save. You know, you have a, you know, your approach to finances and money and wealth has ascended. It's in line with your spiritual approach and the wisdom that you've attained. You know, you're generous. You understand when to help, right? You're empathetic, and you're at a point in your life where you can also give. You have enough to give, and you understand the value of giving. A lot of threes, right? So you have 2 3s at least, and you also have 2 2s, 2 7s, right? So that means threes is what I was talking about, bonding, right? Your bond deepens, getting to know each other. I just said when I pulled, when we looked at that a minute ago, I said that's associated with the number 3, and here it comes. 3 is associated with bonding. It's the number for loyalty. It's the number for indulging. It's also the number for crossing the point of no return, right? Crossing the point of no return. The Death card is the 13th card in the deck. There is your 3. That signifies one of the ultimate crossing with no beyond the point of no return. When you go through a death moment, there's absolute and total change. You can never be that person again, right? Once you go through that change. So let's get right into 7 of Discs, right? It's definitely talking about reevaluating your goals, right? Here, this character is looking back on the harvest that he's gotten from what he's sown, and he's thinking about it. He's reevaluating it. Is this really what I wanted? Is this the dream for my future, right? 7 of Discs talks about looking at where you're at now and wondering if maybe has your pursuits changed? Has your dreams changed, right? Have you adjusted now that you see what you've gotten, what you thought you wanted? Is it what you really want? Right? And then here you have, so you're coming out of that energy, certainly right now, Libra. You're being very reflective, especially those of you who are in certain careers or you've been on a long journey with certain projects. You're definitely reevaluating if that is really your dream, right? And that's something that's quite taking a lot of your headspace this month. 3 of Cups talks about bonding, right? It's the bonding that's the bonding that we share with like-minded people. You see, they're enjoying each other, right? A lot of times people say this is third-party energy, but the deeper meaning of this card is about loyalty. It's about loyalty to the group, loyalty to the tribe, right? It's about how we become friends and we seek out social circles of like-minded people in an effort to bond, because that's what we want to do. The 3 is, the number 3 comes as a result of the union of 1 and 2, right? So it's the first divine number. It talks about the Trinity, creation, and through bonding comes the creation. So it's a deeper meaning. Right now, that's how you're feeling, right? I said this about Libra. This is a very Libran card because Libran loves the whole bonding with their friends and society. They love to be very sociable. They're kind of like the social butterfly. And right now, that's kind of how you're feeling, right? You're feeling like you want to get closer to your love mate, especially if you're with somebody. I think right now, even if you're dating or even if you're in a relationship or you just started dating, right now, you're just feeling very sociable. You're feeling like you just want to be around a lot of people. You want to socialize with your friends. So you definitely don't want that kind of tied down relationship that's going to keep you restricted from your friends, right? Right now, you may not be willing right now to be in a committed relationship per se, right? It may be that you're just more into kind of bouncing around, being the social butterfly. Here's 7 of Wands. It's definitely 7s. Here we go, talking about defending your position. All right, you're having a lot of attacks. Certainly talking about people coming at you. You feel like you have to defend yourself, but in a creative way, right? Wands talks about creativity. So when you have opposition, you feel like you're being challenged to come up with solutions, creative solutions to deal with the opposition that you're getting. That's what this card is really all about, in terms of, like, you see him kind of fighting off, these wands that are coming at him. But his way of, this is not a swords card. The wands aren't a weapon, right? So this is about you coming up and being creative about some of the obstacles that are coming your way. Especially through this sociable energy, you're really, like I said, I feel a real social butterfly kind of energy around you. And so any negativity that's coming towards you, you're not really taking it in a kind of aggressive stance. You're definitely being very creative about handling it. Two of Swords, though, feels like, there needs to be a decision made, though, right? You're kind of in a space where you need to make some kind of decision. It's interesting. It's right next to the Queen of Cups, and I think this is you, Libra. You are at a point where you're ready to give love, you're ready to receive love, but you're kind of in your feelings. The Queen is the energy, Queen is water energy. So Queen of Cups is the water energy of water. So she's very in her emotions. Her emotions are kind of worn on her sleeve. Her heart is on her sleeve. She's not afraid to be vulnerable, right? However, she is kind of caught up in them in a way, okay? So she's, for her, it's all about mirroring, right? You have to mirror to her what she's giving to you, right? That's what she wants. She desires a certain amount of attention and interplay. It's almost as if, like, right, she's so in her feelings. You see her gazing into the cup, and it's like whoever wants to be close to her, or who she's calling in, even though she's calling somebody in, it's almost like they have to, like, get right in her face and be like, hello, almost put their face between her and the cup and be like, ooh, here I am. So she can take her gaze away from her inner cup and put it on them so she can truly see them. Right? So it's Queen of Cups is definitely, it's all about sharing and giving and receiving, but also seeing, right? Seeing the other person, not being so caught up in your desires and your emotions that you're blinded to when someone is actually coming forward as a result of your desire to bring them in. Sometimes you get caught up in the desire of calling them in so much that you actually don't see them when they come. And here, like I said, here's this decision. So something's happening. It's making you feel like I have to choose. But the decision is hard to make. This Two of Swords is she's blindfolded. She can take the blindfold off whenever she wants. But there's a stillness here, right? She's listening. She can't see on face value the decision she wants to make. She needs to go deeper. Her emotions are apparent. They're there and present. She can hear the river behind her, right? It's clearly, it's not still water, it's movement. You can see the movement in the water, the way it's illustrated. So her emotions are definitely alive and moving, and she hears them, but she still needs to find some kind of inner stillness to make this decision. It could be a decision between two lovers. It could be a decision between getting into a relationship or remaining free and single. But it's something to do with the way you're bringing in your lover, certainly because it's right next to the Queen of Cups. Three of Discs. Again, here's your other 3 card. 3 of Discs again. 3 being the number for bonding and loyalty, indulgence. Dear Discs here talks about loyalty to your craft, right? Here he's being asked to work on a place of worship, so a very important project. The 2 figures look up to him. He's slightly above the 2 figures, right? He's standing on a bench, but he is slightly above them, so they're looking up to them. They consider him to be a master. They're grateful for his services. So this is the loyalty to craft, the loyalty to your work, and the result of that, right? The result that you get out of that. 3 of Discs also talks about gain in terms of when you bond your desire, when you bond your desire to complete a task along with your expertise, right? So you're elevating your physical expertise along with your kind of that fire energy of desiring to accomplish a task, seeing it completed, right? You know, it's a commitment to completing a task, right? And in that is a form of bonding and loyalty. So you're definitely in that space. It may be that you're working on a special project. This decision could be a decision that you feel you have to make between a loved one and a project, right? You may be feeling like there's not enough room for both, seeing as the Queen of Cups is in the center. We will get clarity on these. In comes an opportunity, some new inspiration. Ace of Wands is definitely inspiration, creative inspiration. Right? So I feel like as well, part of this month, you will be getting some inspiration on how to deal with some of these energies coming in. It's interesting that this will be corner, right? So this spread has a lot of different relationships between the cards and the positioning, crossing the Queen of Cups and you going into your feelings and being more vulnerable, being kind of, knowing that you're being vulnerable, being purposefully vulnerable, right? As a result of going in, some of these obstacles you're having here, you're going to get some inspiration here on how to handle them in a creative way. That's going to be as a result of this inner looking. Could be the person that you call in. Could be also as a result of this decision that you make here in your career. It will bring you to a place where you have inspiration on how to deal with some of these other obstacles that are coming in. At the bottom is certainly you feel like you've been stuck. Eight of Swords talks about stuck energy, but stuck in your own, because of your own doing. She's tied as a result of her own limited ideas. 8 is the number for limitations, boundaries, setting boundaries, finding your own limitations, finding your strengths, right? That's what the number 8 is associated with. So 8 of Swords, it's like when somebody has like a really they're very opinionated, right? It's their way or the highway, and then they find themselves almost being cut off from others. People back away from them. They don't want to hang out with them anymore. They realize they can only get but so close to people because they're not able to accept any other person's point of view, right? So their stubbornness in their attachments to their own way of seeing things has inadvertently bound them and limited them. So it's in this way that you limit yourself when you're stuck in your own beliefs and your own opinions. You don't make room for others. You're unwilling to hear others, or even to say that, to agree to disagree. You know what I mean? This is a warning card. This is something you could have been going through. This could be something that you and yourself, you've been having to deal with. You may be realizing that some of these obstacles you're going through are as a result of you being stuck in a very rigid way of thinking, right? And this card is just lets you know that as soon as you let go of that, these bindings will simply fall away. 2 of Cups is coming in. So definitely the coming together of love, right? So somebody is coming in to you. Finally now, after making the decision that you needed to make here, right? And getting the inspiration here that's coming in to deal with the obstacles you've been dealing with, I feel like towards the end of this time, you're going to be open and finding that soulmate energy, that partnership energy is going to come in because you've done this work. Talks about healing family issues. This could absolutely be to do with the family. Queen of Cups could be a mother. You may be dealing with a mother or a female in the family, a matriarch of some sort. It could be that a lot of this opposition here that you feel like you need to find a creative way to deal with, it could be family, not necessarily just friends and people at work, but it could be your family, right? And so, of course, you need to be creative because you love them, you want to heal, but there's a decision that needs to be made, and if the linchpin here is the matriarch, that could be very much the case as well. So for some of you where Queen of Cups is you, and you're the one who's kind of like bringing in love and opening up your heart. It could also be for some of you that this is the matriarch energy that you're dealing with this month. Nevertheless, the energy is the same. It's still about opening up your heart and being vulnerable, whether it is you or whether you're opening your heart to someone else who needs it, or you're encouraging them to do it. But that is the energy of healing, the family healing. Certainly the decision making and the recognition for your hard work, which is here in the Three of Pentacles. Remember, this inspiration is going to come in and you're going to have an epiphany for yourself of dropping your own limitations and restrictions that you've given yourself. That's all of this is what finally ends in here, bringing together this love. It could be that your mate has been waiting for you to deal with these family issues before they were willing to come forward. You may already know them, but they realized that you needed to handle this. And here comes the time to get to know each other, to bond. You're going to have some heart-to-heart conversations. Let's clarify this reading with our Thoth deck. God, it's starting to get really hot here where I'm at. I'm on the East Coast, and good God, it's nighttime. It is. I feel just so warm now. Drinking my iced coffee. So, yeah, let's get a clarity on this, Libra. Excuse me, I had to take a sip of iced coffee. It's so hot. And see what's going on here, right? That Queen of Cups in the center is certainly the centerpiece of what you're going through. You know, and like I say, this could represent you, where you're at. It could also represent the matriarchy in life that you're needing to deal with, or heal with, or work on. Alright, let's get some clarity, please, on this reading for our lovely Librans. Affirmations, reaffirmations, warnings, cautions, blockages, anything for them to look at. Give us a deeper insight on the connection of these cards, or to reaffirm any of these energies that are here for lovely Libras for the month of June for 2019. And love, show me. Here we go, show me. Show me what Libra's going through. Give me some clarity on this reading. Show me. Alright, here we go. Let's see if we can get any clarity on these cards. Interesting love readings. This month, people are doing a lot of shadow work, a lot of soul work. Six of Wands, the victory. Interesting. Six of Wands comes before the Seven. 10 of Cups. 4, Emperor, stability. 7 of Cups. 8 of Cups, some more opposition. And 7 of Pentacles. Wow. At the bottom, we have 4 of Discs, which is stability. Stability in your material world, right? So the predominant numbers we have here are, we have 2 7s and an 8. So 7s is the number of inspiration, of surprises and unexpected occurrences, of dreaming and wishing, right? That's the number of 7. The 7 is when, after 6, when our desire has been ignited. In 7, we begin to dream. We begin to long. We begin to search after our longings and our desires. So to clarify the bonding that you have of the 3s and the 2s before, 2s being the number of patience and balance. So through patience and balance and your search for bonding, your dreams it's about your dreams and your desires for your dreams. But here we also have some fears. So let's get right into it. The 6 of Wands is up here. It's a victory, right? You feel like a victory. Right, 6 of Wands being Jupiter and Leo. So, you know, it's like you're feeling lucky. You know, you're feeling a bit like more harmonious, right? And this is coming up right here between your, like here, this card, what I'm talking about, where you've kind of been reevaluating how you've gotten to this place and ensuring that this is really what you want for your life. And also this social, this lovely like bonding social energy on top of it, covering that you have 6 of Wands, which is kind of this journey towards harmony, this feeling of victory, as if you've gotten to a place where you're finally harmonious with your social group. It could be that you've never really felt quite comfortable around people, and now you're finally in a social setting where you do feel comfortable. Interestingly enough, it could be just that's leading you back to deal with some of these issues with family or with another social circle that's close to you. Ten of Cups is here as well. So between the Three of Cups and the obstacles coming your way, it's the Ten of Cups. Ten of Cups talks about desire, right? Talks about satisfaction of desire, satiety, right? So here you're getting everything you ever wished for. You're happy, right? And above all of that, yes, you may be having some problems here, but ultimately right now you're working to a place where you're very happy, you're very comfortable. I think it's this energy of finally getting to be where you want to be, right? That's kind of making you feel like you can deal with these obstacles with a bit more creativity and strength, right? Because this is the energy that's overall over this, that's you're going into this with now. And I think it's just kind of the confidence out of getting what you want, out of a completion. I definitely feel like some of you may have been loners, and finally you're at that point in your life where you feel like you're a bit more popular, and so you're getting everything you always wanted. It's giving you the strength to go back into your life and deal with some family issues. Four is here, this decision between the Queen of Cups. This decision with or before the Queen of Cups, associated with the Queen of Cups here. This is quite interesting that the 4 will come up. 4 is all about stability, but it's the Emperor. He's the leader. So it could be, I feel like this could also be a situation where, like with the family, somebody's trying to make you decide between one person or another. There's definitely something to do with the matriarch, a decision that you have to make, and over that, the pressure on that is definitely a masculine energy. It could be a father, uncle, brother, some kind of masculine, a friend, coworker, whatever the situation is. If it's family, I feel like it's almost like one of those typical, it's the parents are divorced, the grandparents are divorced, and one is miserable and the other one is making all the grandchildren choose between the two, right? And it's like one's really, kind of like the stable one, and the other one's kind of like the sad and emotional one, and you're having to choose, but you can't really choose because you love them both. That's kind of a roundabout example of what I'm feeling here, but that's kind of what could be going on. Also, it could be that there's just a masculine energy that's sticking their nose in it and making it difficult for you to make the right decision. Right? A decision needs to be made, whatever that decision is, but the forces are around it. It's definitely some kind of masculine leadership. This person is somebody who commands a lot of authority. Also, this Queen of Cups, between the Queen of Cups and this Three of this gain, this attachment or this loyalty to completing this task, right? The bonding of labor, comes the Seven of Cups. So that's kind of been debauchery. It's been too much pleasure. Too much of a good thing can really turn bad. Seven of Cups is also be careful what you wish for. You wished for these cups and now look at them. It's not at all what you wanted, right? Especially when sevens are dreams and unexpected surprises. This could be the surprise that, when you got what you thought you wanted, it wasn't what you wanted at all. Right? And this is laying here too. It could be that, you're dealing with a family member who might have warned you about all of this. And now that it's happened, you may be having to go back and say, you know what, you were right. Right? Somehow this energy is here. So this person, this Queen of Cups person, if this isn't you, may have warned you about this before, and you had a falling out with that person because you didn't want to accept it, and now you realize that they were right. If this is you, if you're the Queen of Cups and you're ready, you're kind of the central figure who's sort of opening up and healing and being more vulnerable, it could still be that as a result of getting in touch with your feelings, you're realizing that, yeah, this was not the situation you wanted, right? These love situations, some of these love situations, or some of these relationships, right? Ways of interacting with people. I believe this is something that came in the past, or somebody, you came through this, right? And you're kind of rethinking it, like I said. Either it's somebody who warned you and they were right, or it's you rethinking these relationships, because now everything's kind of coming up roses, right? You're feeling really good. Could also be that you're wandering, you're making sure that everything that you're going, this is right now you're feeling very social. That can also be shallow, and as well right now you're kind of worried. You don't want it to turn into a Seven of Cups situation where it's kind of starting to get stale and gross, and you realize it's not what you really wanted. So again, there's a warning there. Right? There's a warning there. People are looking up to you. Remember, Three of Pentacles is about people looking up to you for your work and your expertise as well. So don't let this disappointment or this like too much of a good thing go to your head and ruin that as well. Eight of Cups down here. Again, more limits. Eight of Cups on the Eight of Swords. So yeah, certainly that stagnation in your love life, in your relationships as well, feeling alone, indolence. There's a couple more lotus flowers left there to pour out a little bit, but it makes no difference. They're not getting anything in return, right? You haven't set the right kind of boundaries, and so these cups are just soaking up whatever those blossoms have, but they're not returning anything. Again, it's about boundaries, right? It's about setting up boundaries and saying what you're willing to do and what you're not willing to do, what you're willing to put up with. And this is definitely an imbalanced relationship of one who's poured so much in and another who's done nothing. And it's that inspiration, I think, again, this inspiration, Eight of Wands, and this realization that perhaps it's been your own kind of stubbornness that's kept you in these relationships, right? That's going to help you get through these obstacles. Again, like I said, this is the shadow work here, right? Realizing this, the inspiration, the Eight of Wands comes in, and this is the shadow work, waking up, setting the boundaries, realizing you don't want to do that. The boundary was supposed to be set here at Seven of Cups, so you don't get to Eight of Cups, if you know what I mean, right? It should have started with the dream here, and now it's a lesson. Okay, and again, here, Seven of Pentacles, failure. Again, the dreams, some of the dreams you have, Seven of Pentacles is up here too. But this is not necessarily failure here. So seven, again, dreams, wishes, maybe readjusting your wishes again. But here it says failure, and here it's kind of just like, well, it's more of a hint of it. But it's the same kind of energy. It's reevaluating what you've accomplished to see, are you a failure, are you not? Is it what you really wanted? Have you gotten the goal? And it's interesting that this card will come up as a clarity card because it started here from the original spread, and here it's the last card. So it begins and ends with that. Your month begins and ends with you reevaluating on a very material level, because the material level is where you're receiving your proof, right? Reevaluating, is this really what I want for my life? And you start the month off with that. You go through all of this, and then you end the month off with that, going through that question again. But I think this time, at the end of the month, as a result of all this shadow work, the communication, right? The attending to the decision-making process, right? The inspiration, the creative problem solving. You come at the end of the month to a period where you reevaluate and you know what you want. And then it's open gateway for that partnership to blossom. You're well on your way to this, right? This is the first card almost of the next read. So it's like all of this prepares you to open the road for this, which is love. Two of Cups, the coming together of you and your lover. Someone who feels the same way as you do. Your equal lover, a balanced lover, the one you're meant to have. All right, my lovely Libras. Wow, if this resonated with you, you know what to do. But for now, thank you so much to everyone who took the time to watch, comment, and subscribe. And for now, I'm just going to sign off and say I wish you lovely Libras a wonderful love month of June 2019. Bye-bye.